everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I recently asked on the community tab here on YouTube if anyone would like to see all of my finished colouring pages. Now it's been a little while since I did an updated version of this, and obviously each month goes by I do between 10 to 30 pages each month, so obviously I've accumulated a lot more finished pages. So this is going to be in order by artist, but not the order of which the books came out, and I'm just going to do what books I've got right at the side of me next to my bookshelf, and then I'll move to the bigger bookshelf behind me. I will try my best to remember as well where I purchased each of the books from, but we shall see. I say that now, but this will be a long video. I might have to film it over a couple of days, but we'll see. So the first lot I'm going to do my beloved Hannah Corzon, and this is the Gold Corn, I think that's how you pronounce it, and this is a mixture of her previous colouring books. And I did order this off, I think it's Bocus, that's how you pronounce it. So I pre-ordered it on there, and as you can see it's literally a mixture of all of her colouring books up until the point where this was released. Now I have got this one whip in here, which I'm so close to finishing. I just need to think of something for the background because I don't want to leave it completely black. Why I've not come back and finished that. I've even put 2 tags in that one to remind myself. So the first finished page, I'm going to end up flipping backwards in all these books, so just make it easier for myself. So for this one I can see that I've used in the background it was either the Mod Podge Stream Glitter, or I've used stickles and just rubbed it out with my fingers. But I do remember the pencil work with this was Prisma's. It was Prismacolor on this one. I'll just move the light over a tiny bit. That should be a bit better. Yeah, so it was Prismacolor on this one. And she turned out super cool, and there's Pentel Hybrid Dual metallic gel pens. You'll see that a lot in my colouring books. I absolutely love them gel pens. What else have we got? Oh, we've got the man at the front, which I believe I based this one off David Bowie when it was, I don't know what year it was it the 80s? Was it the 80s when they wore the makeup and stuff? I'd googled a picture and I'd use that as reference. And there is some stickles on this at the bottom. Just here you can see a little bit sparkling, and then that black glossy bit that you can see is the Sakura Jelly Roll Glazer. As you can see it's nearly ran out. I have luckily got a backup for this, but it is absolutely fantastic, this gel pen, for creating the shiny black, and it's not too raised as well. So you can use it and then colour this page, for instance, and not worry too much. I'd always have a sheet behind anyway, but still. So that's the only one that I've done in this one. I've just gone ahead and moved one of my lights. It's such a dingy day. We're having weather warnings at the moment for rain and flooding, so I'm going to have to keep moving the lights. So the next one is Midnight's Masquerade. Again, this was from a website called Bocus. I think I did pre-order this one as well, if I'm remembering correctly. So we're doing it at the back there now. So this one I've used black acrylic on the background, and I've used a bit of the shiny pan pastel. It's not called shiny one, it's I think it's pearl. Just see there, it's a really subtle effect. And then a white chalk for this area, as well as it was probably some sort of pastels or pastel pencils for around the flames. But the rest of this was Inktense, I can tell straight away by this here. And again with the Pentel gel pen there as well. First double page spread in this book. I'm not keen on the background, I really don't like the background. It's Neocolor 2s. I don't really remember what pencils that I used on this one. It could have possibly been Prisma again. But the background I hate. I think it's streaky. I don't really like these embellishments that I've put on. I don't know why I did that. I think I was going for like a galaxy background, and unfortunately I didn't pull that one off. What else have we got? See, I've got ideas. I've put ideas down for what I want to do on pages. This one I can see straight away is distress ink in the background, and I'm so surprised that I didn't do my usual water splatter technique on that. The raised, if I just lift it up and then you see where it's raised a little bit, the cream bits, that is the Dove Craft. It's like it comes out as a liquid. The bottle looks like a Stickles bottle, but when it's dry, it dries hard. So again, if I was colouring this page, I'd probably struggle in that area, but hindsight. So we've done a little kitty cat with the donuts, and I believe I followed a tutorial for these donuts out of one of Helen Elliston's tutorial books, I think. So if I did, it would have been with Prisma, because that's what she tells you to use in that book, which colours of them to use. We've got another double page spread. Now I do like this one. Again, distress ink on the background. I think I just started using distress ink at this point, because looking back, I would have added a lot more splatter, a lot more different size splatters. There's not a lot there. I mean, I could go back and fix that, because you can reactivate distress ink. I think I probably will. And it was the Faber-Castell Albert Dürer watercolour pencils for everything else apart from her skin. That's Prismacolor again. We've got this one, and I remember using the Bruchot powders for this cool background. Now, did it bleed through? It didn't bleed through, and usually I have a terrible time with that bleeding through. And all that shiny stuff that you can see there is the Pentel gel pen again. And that is possibly my favourite colour out of the whole set. The amount of them oranges that I've gone through is ridiculous. Oh, we did the birdie. And the background is the Coloro metallic watercolour paints. It was like a silvery grey colour. I think it might have been a separate silver and a separate grey, and then I mixed them together to make a darker grey colour. He's nice, and he's done with Inktense as well. So I have done a few in this one. I think I did this one for a video. I can't quite remember. Again, Neocolor 2's in the background. I'm not totally happy with that. And my light just went. Right, so take two. I'm going to keep that in the video. That's the problems with having lights. I've just put blue tack on the legs. The problem is because I've not got my mat down. It usually sticks well to my mat anyway. Yeah, so I don't like the background on this yet again with the Neocolor 2's. I do really like that medium, but I've got to be honest, if I look back now to when I first started purchasing all these different things, I just would have stick to a watercolour palette, because I end up using the Neocolor 2's in a similar way, but it takes me longer because you're having to colour down on a palette and then pick up the colour, whereas you could have just picked it up out of the palette of a watercolour palette. I have used it a couple of times straight onto the page, and I've never managed to get it as good as other people have got it. Maybe it's with practice, but yeah, I do prefer just normal watercolour, like a watercolour palette over Neocolors. But again, I just need to practice. Not done any of these. Is there any at the front? Oh, I did the front cover. And this is definitely the Mod Podge that I've used over the top of this. You see the shine? But with this one, I believe, I think I went over the top with the roller that you can use with diamond painting to make sure the drills are down at the end. I've started using that on different things actually, and because of that, it's not made the paper super thick. It's still bendable. It's not put a whole lot down. The actual bunnies themselves, I think again, was Prismacolor. And it might have been Inktense here. And you might be able to hear one of my dogs snoring in the background. We've just got a little book here, the Winter Dreams, the postcard one. Again, this was right at the start of me collecting things, collecting boots, art supplies, and I wanted absolutely everything Hannah Carl's on. So I just did this with the Pentel gel pens again. It's really plain simple block colouring. I don't think there's a whole lot that I've done in here. There might be one whip. To be fair, this is really thick cardstock, well, obviously you're meant to be able to send them. So that's another whip that I've just done with gel pens. I've not come back to that. Is there any more? There is another one there. The bunny that I have done in pencils and a little bit of gel pen. It's difficult to flip through this. Nope, and that's it in that one. I haven't sent them out to anybody. They're all still in there intact. We've got Magical Dawn. I nearly said by Hannah Carlson. We're still on the Hannah Carlson. I've actually dated this here. June 2019. So when, was that when I started it? It must have been. It must have been. So I did the nameplate. And that is quite dull colouring. Quite dull colouring. Looking back at it now. Again with the gel pen. The shiny gel pen at the top. So I'll start from the back. This was a very early one. I remember doing this one sat in the reception area at nursery because my daughter was going on like a trial run to see how she got on, and I was sat there colouring this. Kirsty, if you're watching, do you remember that day? I think that's one of the first times that I mentioned that I did colouring actually. But yeah, Pentel again for her. But yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I can look back at most of my pictures and know what I was doing, or whereabouts in the house I coloured it, or if I was watching a film or listening to a podcast. I remember most of them anyway. This is a recent one. I wouldn't say it's really recent, but it's quite recent because I've used the gel gloss acrylic, I think it's called, or gel acrylic gloss. And you can see the brush marks on that, but now I have used it on other pages and again used that roller, and it's turned out a million times better than this. You can see just the strokes from the paintbrush, but all in all I still like the effect that it's given the page. It's made it shiny, it's made it thicker. If I remember, it was the Jane Davenport mermaid markers for that background. I should probably do a tutorial on that because it's so fun and so easy to do. What do you think of that one? What else have we got in here? Another very early one. See, I was dating them right at the start. So we've got June 2019. I've got to be honest, I don't really remember what I used on this. It might have been the Black Widow pencils and then just watercolour for the background. I've not even coloured these dots in. So yeah, very early work. Again, June 2019, and I remember that I was sat on my couch when I coloured this, and my parents-in-law were around at the time to see Little Miss, and I was colouring this. I was doing the peacock feathers at the time, and this picture was the first time that I used Zest-It to blend out the pencil, and it was Black Widow pencils, and if I remember, yep, I didn't know what I was doing with the blend it stuff, and I used too much and it totally bled through. You see there? I mean, I could probably save that on this page, not the end of the world. And then for the background it was just soft pastels, probably just blended in with one of them blender sponges. So yeah, that's her. That was a very early one again. I've not dated this one, and I've not even coloured the little dots again. I'm terrible for that, or I was. Got stickles on here, just at the bottom. You can just about see there. This one was a big fat fail. I tried to do a different technique going down the page. It was so crinkly as well. This, I don't know if you can see there. It had flattened out a lot since me doing this. But it was absolutely terrible how much it warped the paper. I used too much water and the effect just wasn't what I was hoping for, unfortunately. But you're not going to win them all. You're not going to win them all. And I still like looking back at my fails. So again, another fail. Pastel for the background. This would have been, what's it called? The Gansai Tambi. It's the gold set, starry colours I think it is. Yeah, the starry colours. That's what that gold is. That was one of the first metallic paints that I bought. Really reasonable price, and I do recommend that paint. Really reasonable price. Is there anything else? Another early one, June 2019, not even finished the stars off. And it probably would have been the Black Widows. June 2019, black acrylic background, and I've missed so much of the edges. You see all this here that I've missed. And then Pentel, and I've not even coloured the sand. How terrible am I? So this is another recent one. See the difference? This is why I do like looking back. There's a lot of distress ink on the background. That Dove 3D stuff again, which it's not too bad because I've done it closer to the front of the boot, but I'll struggle. I'll be quite bumpy, so I'll have to put quite a few pieces of paper on top of this if I'm colouring these pages. Pentel again here. And I've missed out some spots here as well. And it would have been the Faber-Castell Albert Dura watercolour pencils with that one. Is there any more? Just the front cover on that one. So the next one I have actually featured on the channel a couple of times. I've made a video just dedicated just to this boot because of how jam-packed it is. So if I just lift it up like this, that's me not squeezing it, just firmly holding it. If I do squeeze it, I can just about get it down. But I have got a second copy of this book just here. And I just want to show you the difference of these books. It's unbelievable. So I got a backup of this because of how much I enjoyed this one. So this is Soulmates. Again, Hannah curls on. And I've done, I think more or less, every single background in this book. Bare the front cover, apparently. Well, that's the title page, that's the front one, so I have done that. We've got washi tape on here, there's watered down acrylic, there's Neocolor 2s, there's Posca pen, there's gel pen. There is just all sorts on this page. This one was a big fat fail. I really don't like this one at all. So I am glad that I've got a second copy. I was practicing pan pastel for the very first time on this page, and I know I could rub it out, but it's not just that I don't like. I don't like the background. I've missed bits of the background. So yeah, that's why I bought a backup copy of this one. I think that even might be ink tints there that I've not even activated. I probably finished it and thought I'm not even going to bother. Hey ho. This one, again, I should have learnt from a mistake. I tried to do a similar effect here and it didn't work. And this is all splodgy. Don't like it. Don't like it. I was really proud though with the fact that I did all these backgrounds in this book. Pan pastel with this one and just the Pentel gel pens. This one I like. It is complete. It is done, this one. The skin's a bit... it could be blended a little bit better. But all in all, I like this one, and again it would have been the Black Widow pencils and then just soft pastel on the background. And I have drawn in some bubbles. It's just not picking up very well on camera. You can just about see them here. Another background. I don't mind this one. I don't mind this one. It was Neocolor 2s, and then I've used, if I remember correctly, it was nail polish. It was the shiny nail polish on this side. And then on this side as well, you see the gold? Just doing opposite sides. I do like that background. Don't like this one at all. This black side is too plain, and I don't like the way that this paint turned out. It was just a cheap metallic acrylic paint that I got from a cheap craft store, and you can see how patchy and horrible it is. So yeah, I don't like that one. And then we've got this one, which was distress ink. I had no idea how to use distress ink, and I was using a blender that originally you was meant to use, like the little circle one, and then you peel it off to use a different colour. That's what I was using, and I despise the way that looks. I'm so glad that I changed and managed to find the blending brushes. Awful, awful. Well, it would be good to do these pages and look back at some of these. This, I think it was the KJ Designs by Karen watercolour paints, and again I wasn't 100% sure how to use them. I didn't wait enough for them to activate. All this blue that you can see is the Crayola Super Tips, which I've not got anymore. I've given them away. I didn't like the fact of how streaky they were. In the background I've added a couple of stars. So this is in progress. It's been in progress for quite some time, because again I don't like how the gold is turning out. I did start her hair. I don't mind the hair, and the skin's not too bad. It's been a bit washed out on camera. But I think it was oil pastels. I can't quite remember. Or it might have been Neocolor 2s. Possibly. Possibly. So this one I love. Absolutely love this one. I like how the skin's turned out. I like the colour choices. Again, I can't remember what pencils this was. It might have been Inktense. Looking at some of the flowers, and I've not activated. It is Inktense because there's 1, 2, 3. All these middle bits I've not activated. Silly me. And then Pentel gel pen again. I can't believe that I've completely missed them out. I've not activated them. And all up here as well. You can't forget that. This one definitely was oil pastel, and I was going for like obviously a winter scene. I don't know if I'll be able to save that or not, but this book is complete. If I just, can you see there, it's sort of falling apart, but I'm not surprised. The amount of mixed media that I've used in this book. This one was Distressing, not Distressing, Inktense. I always get mixed up between the two of them. Yeah, so it was Inktense in the background to try and make a camo effect. I do like that, how that one's turned out. No background on this one, but we went away for the weekend to Wales. Well, it was meant to be for the weekend, and I took this book away and I was colouring that night, and we ended up leaving the next day because the weather was horrendous and it was scaring the life out of me. Give me rain, give me thunder, lightning, I'm fine with snow, but if it's windy like it was that day and we was right near the mountains, I was terrified. So I told my husband he has to take me home, and we left. Such a baby. But honestly, it was making the car shake when we was in the car. It was horrible. Anyway, again, I think this is Neocolor 2s. I could have done this a bazillion times better, and I'm definitely going to come back to this in my other book. I've not touched this book yet. It is brand new. I've not touched it, so there's so many pages that I am going to come back to, especially looking back through this now. Pan pastel again for the skin. Not finished it off because I didn't like how it was turning out. And the background on this one, if I remember, I used the Crayola Super Tips. If I bring it up very slightly, you can see how patchy it is, and I tried to go over the top with the Jane Davenport colour sticks and I still couldn't save it, but not the end of the world. This one I could have done this Christmas. It was ready to be done. Why I've not come back to do that. This sparkly stuff that you can see at the bottom, just there, is the Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pen in clear, and then it would have been soft pastels for the background. Inktense pencils, and I remember doing this, and it took me forever and a day to sit here and get through all them little nooks and crannies and then come back and activate it. It took me so long, and I thought never again. And this eye colour, my husband came over before I decided what colour eye, and he said black and red. Black and red will look really, really good, so I did it and hated it. Absolutely hated it. Thanks, Dana. This one isn't too bad. It is some sort of watercolour with this. I do remember I struggled with it going really patchy. I can't remember what watercolour it was. It might have been the Prima watercolour palette. I can't quite remember. We've got washi tape. That is oil pastel again. You can see in the background, that is oil pastel. And the Pentel. So you can understand why I go through so many of them gel pens. It's ridiculous. More Pentel on this one, on her jewellery. Black acrylic background and just very basic pencil work. At the time I was so proud of this hair, but looking back at this now, look at the hair. It's not my best. It's not my best. If I've got an updated, let me just check What was I working on the other night? I've got a couple of whips and a finished one in here. Oh, this is the one from the last video that I'm going to get round to doing the skin as a tutorial. But there's the difference. There's the difference. Practice, practice, practice. Oil pastel again with plenty of washi tape. I was mad on the washi tape apparently in this book. It reminds me very much of Harry Potter, that. I think it's just the glasses and the scarf. Right, now this one was pencil for the background, Prismacolor pencil, and I don't do Prismacolor pencil backgrounds ever because it takes too long. But I did use the what's it called? Zest It blender. Couldn't get my words out, and that's how I managed these, you know, the crisscross, and to make it look a bit more faded. And this is watercolour. The flowers and the leaves are watercolour. I couldn't tell you which watercolour that is, but I can just tell because it's a little bit patchy. Neocolor 2s. I do remember doing this one. All Neocolor 2s. And there's a bit of... See, you can see right at the start, I loved doing like the splatter effect and just mixing everything up I could. I'm really proud about how I've progressed in the last year. I really am. I've pushed myself to, look at my hands, I've pushed myself to carry on and get better at it. I am proud of myself. Not proud of this one, not proud of this one at all. It's just pastel, which this is another fabulous one that I could do. I could base this off Brienne from Game of Thrones. The Brienne of Tarth, I think that's her name, Brienne of Tarth. Really basic one. This is copies of Stickles. I can't remember the name of the brand. They're not as shiny, but I didn't know what to do with the background, so that was the background. Inktense pencils again, super duper streaky. I wouldn't recommend Inktense pencils on big areas, they just don't work, in my opinion. Soft pastels. Now see, this did work. This was Inktense pencils, but it was a lot smaller an area. And I've made galaxies, and then over the top I've put, it was nail polish. You see it's shiny. I will come back and finish this because I do like this background, but I wouldn't leave all of this bare. Maybe just add some sort of grey or just something, just so it's not so stark white. But I do like how that one turned out. That one's quite cool. Epic fail all over. Can't stand this page. Just looking at this and looking at that is Inktense pencils, and I've done my usual trick by not even activating that. I've probably just done it and then thought, am I ever even going to finish this? I hate how it's turning out. But I'll never crisscross a page out. I'll never rip a page out because I like to see, you know, how far I've come. Now I do remember doing this one. It was with Arteza acrylic paints, and I was going for a sunset theme. A beautiful sunset coming up from the background and make it look really nice and gorgeous, and I made it ended up looking like that the town's on fire. The fire started here. Yeah, so I probably won't come back and finish this one purely because that was not the effect that I was going for. Another fail. Definitely not a fail. I love this one. I love this one. This was with Inktense again, but instead of doing the whole area, I've just stuck to small parts, and it's helped to make it less streaky. I really like how this one turned out, and it was Prismacolor, I think, for the pencil work. I like the contrasting of the orange and the blue. I think that is a really nice page. Another nice page. I can't remember whether I did some of this on the channel. I might have done this page on the channel. I can't remember. So the is it chinchilla? Chinchilla? I think that's what they're called. Is acrylic, Arteza acrylic paint. And then I've used the glossy accents on the sweetie jar. Just there. To make it shiny. And some glossy accents on here as well. So it has got a nice raised feeling to it, this page. The skin isn't the best, it's very streaky and washed out. Done some collaging with tissue paper with this one. And absolutely nothing else. The Jane Davenport colour sticks. You can see as I'm getting closer to the end, I'm running out of ideas. It was black acrylic on the background, and I think I used 2 full gel pens to complete this one with my dragon. I'm so going to come back to this book. I'm going to keep it out, I think. I'm going to keep it out on my desk to remind myself. I need to do the same thing as what I do with my supplies. I move my supplies just so I'm not forgetting what I've got, but I need to do the same with my books because I do forget what I've got and what I really love. Oil pastels for the pirate page. I'm actually going to start one of them tonight. I'm going to start one tonight. Plain old acrylic for that one. This one I did do on the channel. I can't remember whether it was this page or both of them. I can't remember, it was quite early. So if you do want to watch that, it's really further down in the channel. If you look at my older videos, it's there. But this is a lot of ink tents, and I've done the same trick here. I've not activated it here, and I've not activated it here. Maybe I did that on purpose. I can't quite remember. But I do like how the phoenix turned out. Pretty cool. And this one, again with the collaging, but I put this in the sink with some tea bags and stained the paper to that colour, and then ripped it all apart, glued it on here, and I just thought it went really, really well. Unfortunately, it's just made the paper super duper thick. That's what's adding to the thickness of this book. I think it was Prismacolor on this one. I thought I was dead clever though when I first did this. I thought, oh, nobody else has thought of this. I mean, everybody's thought of this. There's so many pages like this, but I thought I was dead clever at the time. Plain watercolour, not happy about that. Watercolour on this one, but there's a lot of washi tape. I do like this one, and the pinks and greens. I do like how that one turned out. And I really like how this one turned out. The background on this, I'm just trying, it was the Colour Raw paint again, but this one is the pearl colours. I've mixed the green and the blue together to make this turquoise. And the rest of it, it was either the Winsor & Newton or the Pretty Excellent. It could have been the Prima watercolours for everything, even the skin, I think. But I'm really, really happy with how she turned out. Plain old stencils with distress ink with this one. That's not black acrylic because it's not pure black. That would have been Neocolor 2s, and then possibly not distress ink, Intense on the inside. I'm looking back at these and there's so many different things that I could have done different. Yeah. My unicorn page, which is complete, that is done. That is Neocolor 2s on the background, and it would have been, I'm telling a lie, I couldn't even remember what sort of pencils that I used on this one, so I'm not going to say which. This I do remember, I used the Crayola Super Tips for a skin, and it turned out absolutely awful. It was streaky, and then I tried to go over it with a pencil and save it, and it just didn't work. But I did end up coming back and finishing this one. And that on the background, I think it's some sort of silver ink. It's not paint, that, it's ink. So this is a wick that I'm so close to getting done. I've even written down my pencils and stuff here. I've used KJ Designs. What's it say? KJ Designs for the background, pastel pencils for the base on the cat, Prismas on the lady's skin, Faber-Castell watercolour pencils on the flowers. So yeah, I've actually done a good job of marking it down, and that is everything in this book. So yeah, super duper thick, a lot of hours went into that. I'm not necessarily sure I'll come back and finish all of them pages, probably not. You'll notice a bit of a reoccurring theme when it comes to Helena Curls on, like this one for instance, again the same as the other one. I've got 2 copies, they're in different languages and the paper's different in each. I haven't got double copies of every single one. The only one I can't get hold of is Magical Dawn. For some reason I can't get hold of that. But she's my favourite artist. She's the one that I started colouring, so she does, you know, her books are really special to me. So this one, wow, I even did this side. So I've done the front cover, and I've even dated it. I should start doing that again. July 2019. It's amazing looking back. I can't quite remember every single medium that I've used in all these pages. You'll notice yourself, you'll pick up and go, oh, that's gel pen, that's this, that's that. So this would have been the Black Widows again. And then we've got some stickles. in her hair. This was a more recent one because I used the gel acrylic. Gosh, what's it called? It's right at the back. I think it's just called gel medium acrylic. It's just for finishing my pages, making them shiny and a bit thicker. But I think this was the Jane Davenport again. All this effect that you can see. So I was meant to be going from back to front. I know I've finished this page, but it's in the next book because the paper is better in the other issues of them. Editions, not issues. So I've done this double page spread. Watercolour here. Why I've not brought it over here because it's a double page spread, I'll never know. Don't like the skin. I hate the blending on the mushrooms. Another one, I remember this one being a whip for so long. It was months because I started it with the the Crayola Super Tips, and I hated how patchy it was. But I hated having whips on my shelf. They felt like they was taunting me. So every now and again I'd come back and do a little bit. So when I'd finished this page, I was elated that it was done. I still really don't like the way it looks because of them Super Tips. I think that might be it in this book, yes. But like I said, we have got, oh, and it is Seasons, we have got this copy of the book as well, and this paper is amazing. If you're going to get any of Hannah Calzon's books, I don't know, you can usually tell the people that make the books, so that's the better quality. Because somebody else told me in the comments, I don't know whether it's the Dutch edition, I'm not sure, I'm really not sure. You're going to think I'm silly. So I've not done that one because I did it in the other one. So what have we done in this one? So this was up on the channel. I'm pretty sure I did this from start to finish on the channel. It's quite plain. This was a big fail. That skin. I based the picture, it was either with gesso, a clear gesso, or it was a satin glaze. Or it was something like that, and it was meant to help you blend the paint round for longer on the page, basically to prep the paper, and it just did not work. It did not work at all, and I tried my best to save that skin because I worked so long on the rest of it, but I ended up just giving up. I like the rest of it apart from the face. So what else have we got? We've got that one. I definitely did do that on the channel, definitely. The Autumn Winds one. I remember doing that with paint. We've got this. This is one of my all-time favourite pages that I've completed. And I've gone over with that gel stuff again. But I think them strawberries look really, really realistic. I think I've done a really good job there. I think they did juicy. I am really proud of that page. I still like it now. Oh, there was one there. So that was a tutorial that I did showing you how I did them strawberries, and I've not come back to finish it because this page would be absolutely amazing finished. So another one I need to come back to. I thought I'd flip past one then. I've got this double page spread and I've got a little tag. Let's save that to reuse it. And I think it was the Faber-Castell Albert Duras on this one. I'm pretty sure it was. And then it might have been the Tombow markers, the pens for the dragonfly. I can't quite remember, but I think definitely the colour choices that I picked on this worked brilliantly with the black background. Really nice. Is there anything else in here? Probably not. No. So that was Seasons. And then we've got Daydreams. Now I believe that this was her very first colouring book. I haven't done many of these ones, I don't think. I could be wrong, I keep making myself out to be a liar. We've got this one that I really did not like the background. I was going to change it but I never bothered. The blending on that is absolutely atrocious. What else have we got? Oh, this one, I do remember doing this one and I still love this one now. It took me a long time though to do this, to get the colours this vibrant. It really did take me a long time, and I think this is where I've started doing the distressing background and getting it a little bit better. I mean, it's still not perfect. I still could do a lot better with this. There's a certain effect that I like now, and this isn't it. What else have we got? We've got the jellyfish page that I did with some sort of watercolour, and I never came back to finish it. Naughty me. Very early one. Oil pastel in the background. Again, not overly happy. So we've got the next copy. Daydreams, isn't it? Yeah, Daydreams. Let's see, there is one big fail in this one, but you know what, I had so much fun doing this page. We're coming up to it in a minute. Yeah, so it weren't this one. I did this one on the channel. This was really fun, making the water effect, and the gel acrylic medium again on that one. But it's this page. You can see how much it's bled through on this side and it's bled through on that side. But you know what, I had a ball. I felt like a kid again, playing with all my different paints. The reason that it's bled through is because of the Bruchot powders, but there is all sorts on this, and I literally had the stuff on my hand and I was rubbing it over. It was just so fun. And then there is a glitter paste, you see at the top, it's a glitter paste. But originally, if I can find the page, in this one, it was just 2 butterflies. Yeah, here we go. It was just 2 butterflies that you was meant to finish off yourself. And there was no way I was drawing them patterns in, so I made it like a collage / let's just have fun page. It was really fun though. And I like it because it was fun. I do remember having a good time doing that one. And that's all I've done in that one. We have got jewellery box. I don't think I've done. This one wasn't my favourite out of all of her books. So this, again, it was when I was learning how to use Distress ink, and I was just using that horrible blender that everyone originally used with it. I always think I've done a lot more pages, because each month I do so many, but looking back through all my books I really haven't. I do like this effect, the splatter effect on this one, and give it more of an ombre going down. I think looking at that, it is Inktense pencils, and I've whited out the wings just with a gel pen. I don't know what I was thinking here. Look at this top corner. What was going through my head though, I have no idea. And I did the lion. I did the lion and I did the peacocks and even the little flower. I like how they turned out. And they would have been with the Black Widow pencils again. So another copy of jewellery box. Have I done many in this one? The paper is so much better in this. So I did this one. I think this was a body colour, it was a hashtag or something. Again, practising with the distress ink in the background. We've got this nice double page spread. I do really like this one. I like how the skin turned out. It didn't actually go right, it was too much purple tones in it, but I just went with it and tried to tighten the background with the purpley blues. But I still do like that one, and I remember that one being fun. My little bugs, all with Inktense pencils and a tiny little bit of distress ink in the background. You can see that the paper was warped a little bit actually on that one. Lovely double page spread. This is definitely not my normal colour combination, but I like how it's turned out. I've used Tombow pens on these birds. And is that everything this one? It is. We've got Summer Nights, and I think I've done quite a few in this one if I remember correctly. So we've got this little lady, and she was done with the Castle Arts pencils. The first day that I got them, I did this and tested them out. I don't have them pencils anymore. What else have we got in here? Oh, how can I forget this one? But this one here, I'll start off with this first. Again, it was the Black Widows. I tried to do realistic gems, didn't turn out, and oil pastel for the background. But this one here is possibly one of my all-time favourite pages that I've ever done with the bees. And again, I did follow a tutorial with these, and these were all clear, but there was no way I was sitting there doing every single one, and I think it adds to the effect anyway, than being black with the gel pen going around them. If I just move it a little bit, I still love this page. I've really thought about cutting it out the boot, but I'd cry. If I ripped it, I'd probably cry. What else have we got? Another big no, I really don't like this page. Oh, this was a tester page for all different pencils. That's all that is. Yeah. Recent-ish. I did this one on the channel, I believe. See, that is with Inktense pencils, and they don't really blend out very well for a background. Maybe if I went over with a couple more layers, that would have looked better. But yeah. And I've done the title page. It's June 2019. And then the last of Hannah Carlson's, I have got the artist edition, but it is behind me, so we'll do that in a separate bit. But we've got Summer Nights again in the other version, right? So I have got a whip going on in here at the minute. If I can just get to the page. I've got this going on. I know it looks really, really pale at the moment, but I'm just, this was from last night. I'm trying something new. I won't explain anything actually about it just yet, and then if I've finished it and it turns out alright, I'll explain everything that I've used and done with that one. We've got a double page of the snakes. I remember doing this and it gave me a headache because of the bright colours, but it was quite confusing doing this page. I think it was watercolour, that one. We've got this page, which is Distress Ink and a lot of paint splatter. Cool effect. We've got this little bug, again with the water splatter. I quite like it, that one's turned out. I wish I didn't do that gem in the middle though, shiner. This one, I was anticipating this turning out so gorgeous, and I was going for the greys and pinks, and it just didn't turn out. The Jane Davenport mermaid markers just bled through terribly, and I was so disappointed in myself, because I started on the swan head and I thought I had an image in my head that what I wanted it to look like, and it just didn't materialise. Luckily, I've got another page of this, so we'll try again. And is that everything in this one? It certainly is. So we'll move on to now the other set of hardbacks, Clara Markova, Maria Troll, and a couple of other random books. So we've got Maria Troll, Dream Reese. Now this is one of this month's finished pages. I did share this one on Instagram, I believe. And I think I used the Caran d'Ache Aqua Museum pencils for all of this, and then a little bit of other pencil shading on top. I can't remember which pencils it was, but I used the Sakura glaze pen again for the little black dots. I can't recommend that pen enough, it is brilliant. So I'm going to put that to one side so I don't get it mixed up with the rest of my pages. I do keep all my work in progress that I want to complete this month and my finished pages in a separate little bit, so I don't get confused. I'm pretty sure I've done some in this, that's why I pulled it out. So what? Flora and Fauna by Maria Troll again. Did I miss one at the back? I've got to be honest, I haven't done many of her pictures. I've done the one there, which would have been in Inktense pencils. And I think that's everything in this book. I have got Twilight Garden as well. Is it Twilight Garden? Yes, and I've not done anything in that one yet. We've got Laura Rafferty's Circle Portraits. Now this is from Etsy. Now all the other Every single Hannah Calzone book, apart from the ones that I mentioned from Bowker's, all the rest of them are from Amazon. The Maria Troll books are from Amazon as well, and this is from Etsy, because I was forgetting to tell you. So I did the very back page, Laura's self-portrait, and I tried my best to make that as cool as possible, as bright as possible. I think she turned out nice though. I actually got a reference picture, and the funny thing is that reference picture is still on my phone, so it goes off on the Alexa and on the screen in the kitchen. Every now and again Laura's face will pop up in my kitchen. I've not done too many in this one. I did the little man with the elephant, and that was the Coloro metallics again in the background. I think I started this one on the channel and I ended up finishing it in my own time, I believe. I'm pretty sure there's watercolour background with that one, and it is marker based, that one. You can hear how crinkly the paper is, and that's all that I've done. They do intimidate me, Laura's pages, a lot, to be honest. I have to have a lot of courage to start one of these pages. We've got Clara Markova. Again, you'll just have to bear with me, I don't pin my pages that I've done. So I've done the title page in all pastel colours, and this was with Holbein pencils and watercolour paints. You can see that they're shiny. So apparently I've started that off and not come back and finished it, a Christmas page. That was from last Christmas. Oh my god, I've actually wrote down here December 2019. Faber-Castell, Polychromo, Stickles and Spectrum Noir Sparkle pens. Why I don't get in the habit of writing down more, I don't know. This was a whip for the longest time. I started this on a live stream, I think. This was really early on the channel. Really early. I don't think I've live streamed in about 6 months. So it was a long time ago when I started this. And I finished it probably in Halloween. I think that's all I've done in this one. I think this is the first one, Magical Delights. I'm pretty sure this was the first one. Have I done the title page in that? I've not. Have I actually done any in this one? Your guess is as good as mine by the looks of it. I've not. Oh yeah, I have. I did the bunny rabbit, and that is with Prismacolor. I can tell because of the shiny wax. Yeah, I think that's the only page I've done in that one. We've got Tenderful Enchantments. Is that the newest one? Yeah, the next one's the newest one. I know I've done one in here. Yeah, I did this one with the Holbein pencils, the little seahorses, and then just watercolour paint for the background. We've done this one. I remember doing this one in Inktense pencils. I was really pleased how this one turned out. Lovely and vibrant. And this little bit here that you can see is embossed. It's embossing powder. Just move it in the light there. So you just put the glue down, you put the powder down, and then you put the heat gun over the top to activate it. I've got some stickles on there as well. And is that everything in this one? Oh, I did the front cover and I really like how the mushrooms turned out on this. I haven't done a whole lot in these boots. Again, I think it's purely because they're really busy pages. But in saying that, I do a lot of Kirby's work and they are super busy. So I'm not 100% sure why. I mean, they really are nice boots, really nice quality. I think this is a newest release, Fairy Touch of Magic. I think it is anyway. I've done one in here, I can tell that. A Christmas page. Now was this Christmas? It might have been this day. It was. I got inspiration for do this because I saw that Debbie from Debbie Loves to Colour had started it, and I ended up starting the same page. But I think, yeah, that is everything out of that book. Here's me thinking I've done 1,000,001 pages. So the flower year, my idea with this was I was going to keep it out, and then the change of months I was going to do a page each month. And the last page I did was July, so I never stuck to it. It's the same as like keeping diaries and whatnot. The only thing that I do is keep a calendar. yeah, I suck at doing stuff like that. But I'll try a little bit harder. Where are we now? So let's move the little ribbon. We're in January. Oh, I've done the front plate. So let's just put it in January. Then we need to pick a page from that and get that done. We have Love Letter by More Girls. This is the only book of hers I've got. Now this is a hybrid of, so whereabouts does it start? It's here. So these pages are glossy and it's the finished pieces from the artist. I think that's really nice. You can use them as colour references. And then the paper changes to a better quality one that you can colour. So they are really grayscaled. Nice book. I did this while I was away with Black Widow pencils and I hated the way that it was blending on this paper. So I didn't come back to it. But I did do this one. This one was a recent one. The Wolf. That was with the Caran d'Ache watercolour pencils again. This is the one that I did when I was away on holidays. So that was Black Widow. And then this one was Prismacolor. And the glitter that you can see there is the Wow embossing powder glitter. I nearly call it extreme glitter, but it's not. And that is everything that I've done out of More Girls. So I did miss out as well for Fairy Miracles because this is in my little cupboard of finished pages. So you'll see this one again this month. But in this one, I've done this page, which that was the Faber-Castell Albert Duras, again the watercolour pencils, really nice watercolour pencils there. We've got this one that, checking that I've basted it with marker or not. I started this off with the Caran d'Ache watercolour pencils and I basted all of the purple flowers, and then this is the page that I ended up doing in bed because I did my back out over the weekend, so I ended up just finishing it all off with Prismacolor and then a bit of gel pen over the wings. Yeah, so I was a bit of a mess stuck in bed because I was playing the Switch game. It was a mixture between the Switch game and exercising, because I don't do exercising, so I think it was a shock to my body. I was sat at the dining table that same night diamond painting for 3 hours, so I was hunched over because my dining table is lower than this desk. And then I think I've lifted Isabel up from a chair and put her on the rug, and I've just tweaked, and then that was it. I was Sunday, Monday, what are we now, Tuesday. It's starting to feel better this morning. So you didn't really need to know all that just because of that page. Another pastel page, it's watercolour for the background, and you can see it's a little bit warped on this, but I think I've kept it squashed between so many books and it's flattening it out a bit. And that paint there is the KJ Designs by Karen, so that's going back in a separate shelf. I'm hoping that I'm not going to forget some pages because they are kept separate. We're going to move on to Kirby Roseanne's. The next two, Phantomorphia and Geomorphia, are not my favourite. Definitely not. I've ended up using these boots as just tester boots. So that's one that I have actually finished when I first purchased the book. Yeah, the Posca pen for that background. That was a Bruchot testing area. I'm really disappointed with this book. Even that, it's a dragon, you'd think I love it, but it's just annoying with how thin it is. I finished that one. Neo Colour 2s in the background. It's that alcohol marker as well. You know what, Lon, my sister would love that page. My sister would really, she likes skulls and that sort of thing. She would love that page if I coloured that for her. That's all that I've done now. Yep, Geomorphia. Started with alcohol markers, not finished. Another Bruchot tester. Alcohol marker, not come back to finish. Another alcohol marker, not come back to finish. This one's not too bad. This is all done with Neo Colour 2s. And that's them. Yeah, so they're really disappointing. Does anybody know if he's coming out with a new boot this year? I've not heard anything. So we've got Anamorphia. So I have got doubles of these, so I do apologise if I'm flipping through them and they've not got anything in them, but I'm pretty sure they've got at least one in them. Oh, so we've got the peacock page, which was watercolour, I believe, and then it wasn't nail polish, it was glitter. See the iridescent glitter on that? And a teeny weeny bit of pencil work and Tombow markers for that little area there. Oh, this was the collage page that had a huge fail. I used the glossy accents here and here, and I mustn't let it dry properly at the time, and I've closed the book, it's dried, and then when I've reopened it again, it's ripped the page. But I think it makes it look quite comical, to be honest. Yeah, it was fun, this page to do though. I ended up cutting out scrap pieces of paper and covering the horns with it, adding stencils, stickles. There is all sorts on this page. Really, really fun. Oh, there's washi tape as well. And that is everything in that one. We've got a Magimorphia. Now I can see I've got a whip in here. I think it's the shark that I started last month that I've just not come back to. So we've got a camo that's almost finished, but I probably won't come back to that because I don't like the background. We've got my Mr. T-Rex, my Rexer, that I love. I've done this twice. I know I have. Is it in this one? Quickly. Yeah, there it is. So if I just show you two versions of it. So that's the one that I did recently with luminance pencils. And then we've got this one as well. I still do like this one, but I love that one. Love that one. It didn't take me as long as you'd think as well to do that, all the shading and stuff. My tiger, that was watercolour and acrylic paint. Really, really simple. That's my whip that I started on last month. I will come back to that. We've got the bug. Sometimes I want to do Kirby's work, but sometimes I don't want to sit here for so many hours doing a double page spread, so this was perfect for that. I think that's everything in there. So this is Colour Morphia. It's a mixture of his books. I did just see one then. Oh, my horse. Wait, is it a unicorn? No, it's a horse with a unicorn helmet on. And I remember using oil pastel here, and it just didn't turn out, so I switched to using pastel. Yeah, that was a long time ago. We have the bird. They call them birds of paradise. Not tropical birds, I'm not sure. Yeah, nice and vibrant. Technically it was a double page spread, I think, so... Or was it not? It might not have been actually. They don't line out, no it weren't. But there's dinosaurs in this one as well. So this was a recent one that I filmed the whole process from start to finish and speeded it up a little, just in case anybody wanted to follow along. How can I remember what I did years ago or last year? I can't remember what I did last month. I think I used watercolour. I think it was watercolour and Prismacolor. I'm pretty sure it was anyway. Is that everything in here? Yeah, there's my T-Rex that I just showed you. And then these are done by other artists in the book. So this is the one that I'm not sure whether I've done another one in Mythomorphia. I don't think I have. I think it still does the backup copy. It is still just a backup copy, but I have done a lot in this one. So this page I was testing out. I just got the Ohuhu markers, the chisel tip and the fine tip. This was ages ago, and I was testing all the different colours out. I've got my Sea Dragon, which I still really like this, apart from the Posca in the background. Yeah. I always enjoy doing Kirby's pages, I really do. Where he gets his imagination from, I don't know, that one's a fail. It's the werewolf in here, yeah, there we go. So that was last Halloween that I did the werewolf in Neocolor 2s and pencil, I believe, and a bit of glossy accent on the birds. We've got a whip that I've not come back, so that was from last winter, so last year. my Pegasus horses, and I've popped over the Mod Podge Extreme glitter all over that. I love the colour combination that I ended up using with this. I got my book out with all the colour combinations in, and my husband picked this colour combination out for me. He thought the reds was a brown. No, they're not. They were red, but it turned out just fine. But yeah, he thought they were brown because he thought the horse would look better in brown than red. But it doesn't matter. It turned out. My Griffin. I was thinking it's Harry Potter, isn't it? Griffin, yeah. So I followed Chloe's tutorial. I think everybody's followed that tutorial, Chloe's, with the Neocolour 2 background. I am going to come back and attempt to do this one again just to see the difference in how much I've improved, because I don't like that background. It's not that I don't like Chloe's, I don't like mine, the way that I did it. I don't like the way that I've blended the pencils. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could do a little bit better than that now. And that is everything in Mythomorphia. The last one of Kirby's is World Within Worlds. Now this is his most recent one. That's why I'm thinking that a boot might be due, because we've not had one in a little while. So the first one in here is the pterodactyls. Just move them out of the way. Yeah, it's my pterodactyls. I've used acrylic paint on this. Watercolour paint, acrylic for the background. And I really enjoyed doing this one. I wanted something completely different for the colour scheme. And I still like that one. My little dolls. Someone did tell me the name of these and I still don't remember what they were called. I still don't remember. But I did do this on the channel and I used the Pretty Excellent watercolour paints, and I really do recommend them. They are nice watercolour, budget friendly watercolour paints. We've got the whales. I'm just making sure that I'm not skipping any. I don't think I am. Whales, really happy with them. We've got some stickles. Again, I love the colours that I chose. The background is really delicate, really nice. My sloth, which I think I did do on the channel, but I think I just got my laptop at the time, so I was still learning how to edit videos, and I think it was upside down. Pretty sure it was upside down. The beta fish that I did on a live stream, I believe. So yeah, that was a little while ago, at least 6 months ago. The funfur in the flower. You see the glitter, again that's the Woe embossing powder glitter. My fail that I showed, I can't remember when I showed this, but I have got a second copy of this now, so I'm not even going to attempt to try and fix that monstrosity that I ended up doing. What else? Oh, we've got the dragon eye. Oh, I nearly forgot. I'm thinking that I've not done anything in that book. Where is it? Where is it? It is here before I forget, because it's in my finished pages. So that's the one that I originally did. And that is the KJ Designs by Karen Watercolour Paints. And then some other watercolour paints. I think I did this on the channel. I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong. So I'll show you this first. So this is the other copy that I've got. This is the only one that I've done in this book, and this is my recent one that I did last week or the week before, and I based this off Viserys from Game of Thrones when he gets turned. So this is up on the channel. I've only sped it up by 2 or 3, I believe, so you can follow on. It might be a bit quicker than that, I can't quite remember, but it's a really interesting video to watch back on that if you want to see his eye come to life. I do show you how I achieved that. I do love that page. I'm really proud of it. Again, the difference, I love just side by side. Super duper cool. See? So I can go back on my finished pages. I do try my best to keep a little bit organised. Otherwise, I just forget what I've done and what I've not done. So back to this one. I did this one with the crater scene with the planets. This one was a crazy page with all sorts chucked at it, and it was just fun. It was just fun to do. I wasn't really caring too much about blending or shading or anything like that. It was just chuck the colour on the page, and it was fun. And I think that's everything in here. It is. Out your shots, I've not done this yet. Still not done it. I like the dinosaur, I don't think I can bring myself to colour all them little houses. But we'll see. We've got, this is all a random selection, well, there's a couple of same artists. We've got Tentacle Kitty, which this is a mixture of a few different artists, and I've still got one whipping here. So this one was done by completedcolouring, I believe. Yeah, it was. And I used the pastel pencils for the background to make that blended effect. I really like how that turned out, actually. What else have we got? This boot to me is just screaming out for markers. That's another completedcolouring one. With the bold lines, I think it's, and the paper does take the marker well. This is the page that I'm so close to finishing, why I've not come back to do it, I don't know. But it was all based in markers. Oh, that's another completedcolouring one. Yeah, there she is. So that was Tentacle Kitty. And then again, these next three books are completedcolouring. We've got the Mermaids one, and this wasn't the first one. The Pop Manga colouring book was the first one. This double page spread was done just with a watercolour. Absolutely no pencil, no shading, no nothing. Sometimes I feel like doing it and other times I don't, just whatever mood I'm in. This was all done with Neocolor 2s. There is quite a few in these books, I do really like these books. I don't remember what pencils this was, I do apologise, and I don't know why I've not done a background. I do like the end result though. And then we've got my little dragon, how cute is it? So cute, so cute. I've used the Mod Podge again over the top of all of it with that one. I think it suits it really well with the blues. Another double page spread with the watercolour and a lot of splatters that are very, oh, they're meant to be there. They were actually drawn on, I can see the ink. So that's not me. I was thinking, gosh, I want to done that pattern. But yeah, that's all done with watercolour and pencil for the skin and the hair. Very sketchy, this book, very sketchy. So I'm a little octopus with his monkey friends. I couldn't resist doing this one. And that is the Dovecraft 3D liquid again. If I just bring it up ever so slightly, you can just see how it just pops out the page. Cool stuff. Anything else? Oh, all of this one was done with Pan Pastel. If I remember correctly, this was done on the channel on a live stream. I think so anyway. So that's everything in that one. We've got the very first one, Pop Manga. This was a very, very early one and I despise it. My back is playing me up now. That background is absolutely terrible. I think it was with the Spectrum Noir Sparkle pens, and then for some reason they were just drying on the page. Really funny. But yeah, it is what it is. That's one thing I don't like in certain books. I don't like these sort of pages. There's no way I'm going to sit here and colour that little bit of skin. That little bit of... No. The wallpaper pages are not for me. So we've done this one. This book is coming apart a little bit. As you can see there. Just be careful. Because I do use a lot of watercolour, so it's bound to happen in some books. What else have we got? I did do this on the channel on a live stream, I think. We've got this one, the little dragon, no background. And the Bruchot powder from the next page is actually gone through, unfortunately. I think this one's quite cool. And it's getting very dark, I might have to move the lights again. Right, so this one, I tried to blend the background from the purple to the pink, and can you see how well I did it? Can you see how well that blending is? God, you have to learn somewhere though, don't you? You do, you have to learn somewhere. I think as well that is the Arteza acrylic paint, and I'm not overly happy with that paint. It's not as good as the Americana one, or even the, what's it called, the apple barrel brand. I like that one as well. So this was done with Black Widows. You can just tell yourself, if you've been colouring or doing it out for a very long time, you know yourself. Because I can tell with the colours and the way that it's blended. So we've got this double page, which it wasn't initially a double page, but I've made it into one. I've got Black Widows again, but I think I used Prisma on this one, and then just acrylic in the background. So this is a perfect example actually, that this is the Arteza acrylic paint and this is the Americana acrylic paint, and I only ever have to do one coat with the Americana. It's that good. I've had this bottle, this one here, and it probably cost about £10, but it's huge. I've had this, I want to say, for at least a year, and I've not even used a quarter of it. Really good stuff, that paint, if you just want a plain matte black for a background. Got this double page spread. I'm not quite sure what acrylic, what watercolour that is. That is watercolour as well. She's really sad, isn't she? And that's everything I've done in this one. So it's Cute and Creeper again, Camilla de Erico, and I've done a lot in this one. So actually I'm going to go from the front, because I know that I have done a lot in this one. So that very first one, I'm going to have to move that light again. Let's see if that'll help. It's gone super duper dark. Oh, that should be a bit better. Neocolor 2's in the background, and I think I've used the Tombow pens for the actual little burr moon. Yeah. This little fox is going to become Ninetales from Pokemon. This one, I actually got autumn leaves and dried them out and stuck them to the page. I thought that was a really cool idea, and I'm really surprised that they're not discoloured yet. I didn't treat them with anything, I literally just dried them out. I popped them on the radiator overnight, and that one's coming loose a bit now that I've messed with it. Oh, have I got any of that quickie glue there? Not off the top of my hand. I will have to glue that one back down. But yeah, I'm surprised it's not discoloured a bit, but a little bit of distress ink as well in the background. I thought that was a really neat idea. It's bulked the book up, don't get me wrong. So I did the pony. I don't know if it's meant to be My Little Pony or what. Well, I don't think it's meant to be, is it? So here we go with the distress ink again in the background, but over the top I've gone over with a bit of paint, I think, and glitter. And there's white gel pen, there's Posca pen. Again, fun page. Let me move that out of the way. So the eels, all the background was done with Neocolor 2's, and then Prisma, I believe, on that one. Now this is a double page spread, and again stencils. There's, oh, what do we call these? Ink. I can't think of the name. They're not stamps, that's the word, stamps. I've used stamps on this acrylic paint for the background. I think it was watered down, I can't quite remember. And pan pastel for this little guy here. Again, just a fun page. Some pages just scream out to use all sorts on and just have fun. But there's not many cute pages, I don't think, left in this. I've done a lot of the Halloween ones. So I've used stamps again with this one. And I want to say Prismacolor, it might have been Polychromos for the hair with this. And the KJ Designs by Karen's watercolour. I really like how that one turned out with the stamps. And I really love how this one turned out, purely because the spider webs have got glitter all over them. And it's the Woe Embossing powder glitter. I thought that was a really neat effect, and I've gone over with a bit of white gel pen on some of them. So what else have we got? So there is a chunk in the middle that I've not touched. These little guys, I thought glitter was coming off everywhere there. I've used stickles on here, but just rubbed it out with my finger. gone over the top. I remember doing this, it took me so long going over each of the black lines with just a gel pen. It took forever, but the overall effect I think is quite neat. Distress ink again for the background. So another portion that I've not done, there's a couple of pages there. I did the little cat, she's cute. Stickles, distress ink and Tombow markers and Prismacolor, I believe. A few pages that I've not done. My little dragon and dinosaur, oh gosh, I thoroughly enjoyed doing this one. As you can see, mixed media. It's bumpy, it's textured, and that means I love it. Really, really fun to do these. That paste is, let me just get it out. Is this the Nouveau paste? So I just use a little craft knife. Is this the one that I couldn't get open? I'm going to have to get my husband to do this. I'm not going to be able to open that colour. I've got another one. Yeah, this one should be alright. Right. So it's literally just a paste, and I use just a little craft knife just to pop it on, or sometimes I just use my finger and rub it in. And that's the sort of effect that it gives. It feels like sand a little bit, like gritty sand. We've got the dragons that I've stamped, and if I remember correctly, I remember saying I wish I hadn't done them stamps, and I still stick to that. I wish I hadn't done them stamps. I think it spoiled it a little bit, but we've got a little bit of the Mod Podge, see, shining at the top there. Another Halloween one with the little cat. Distress ink for that and Tombow markers. Right, zombie guys, that is a cool background. That's the sort of background that I love. I think I did that in layers. So I put the distress ink down, wet it, dried it, and then did it over a few layers. Super duper cool. My little blood splattered picture, again I think I went a bit overboard. It did actually come with all, you can see, you can just about see there's flowers in the background, but I whited them out with just acrylic. Another page that I used the gel medium on. Yeah, I think I used nail colour 2s in the background of that one, I'm not sure. Another double page. As you can tell, I was loving this book. I'll look forward to her next book if she does bring another one out. Again, distress ink, but I do really like the colour scheme on this one. I think it turned out really nice. On this one, I was inspired because colouring chat with Sammy with the hedgehog, but I put too much water on this page. I completely swamped it with water, and that's one of my little dogs that you can hear pattering around. Yeah, I put too much water on this page and it started pilling. That's where you can see all these dark patches here. And then the bat at the back. That's that one. We've got two more in this pile. We've got The Beauty of Horror. This is his newest one, isn't it? 5/6. Creature feature. I'm pretty sure this is the newest one. Is it just the one that I've done in this one? I think it is just the one. I got this in October. So I did the alien picture, and I'm really, again, pleased with how this one turned out. A tiny bit of blood splatter, I couldn't help myself. I love how the letters came out. I just think that one's so cool. And he did an amazing job, the artist, to make it look like the alien. Really fun boot, this one. So it'll only get pulled out probably this September, October. Can you believe that what date are we today? I'm filming this on Tuesday the 19th. How are we? More than halfway through January already. Anyway, mouse guard. There's a lot of unfinished pages in this one, I've got to be honest. I've got this one that's unfinished. I have finished this one, and that was all with watercolour. My cute little squirrels. I think, was it a book or a comic or something that tells the story of what happened? I did this one on the channel. I can't quite remember what I used on this one. I've got to be honest, I can see it's some sort of metallic watercolour. I did start, which one was it? There was a page that I started on the channel, it might have been this one, and I just never came back to it, unfortunately. Oi, can you stop it please? If you want to do your talking, go and do it over there. Another one that I've not finished off, this was with Neocolor 2s. And the dogs are literally talking to themselves. And that was the very first one that I did in this book, and I think he turned out super duper cute. So let's move on to the next cube. So we've got a few by Denise Kettle. I think that's how you pronounce it. Kettle, yeah. Kettle. This is Mermaids in Paradise. I have done a few in this one. We've got a watercolour background again. And I've used stencils, I believe, on this. That's where you can see these effects here. Did I base this? I did base this with alcohol markers, the dolphins and the mermaid. What else have we done in this one? Oh, we've done this one, and this all was based with alcohol markers. I do apologise for the dogs next door, but next door has got 4 chihuahuas. So with us having 2, and mine are in at the moment, you can imagine what it's like when they're all out there. I think that, oh no, I've done that one as well, and that is based with alcohol markers as well. I love that vibrant goldfish, really nice. We've got, let's move them over here actually. We've got Groms in the Neighbourhood. I've done a few in this one, I believe. Was that one done there? No, my hand slipped. So I've done one of the Christmas pages. It's looking really, what's the word? Bland. The colours aren't popping on camera, but they are a lot brighter in real life. So what did I use on that one? I've used the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter again on the snowman. Just lift up the page, it's not going to catch the light, is it? There you go. Just a little bit. What else have I done in here? Pretty sure I did one more in here. Apparently not. The Dragonology. Now this was a Colouring Heaven, or it was, some of these pages were in a Colouring Heaven issue as well. So I've done that one with the little egg, and used some of the Pentel gel pen again on that one. He's super cute. The paper is obviously a lot better in this as well, in the Colouring Heaven. We've got that one that's a whip, so that is all based with alcohol markers. And I think that's everything in that one. We've got Eerie Patisserie, Kyla Magana. That was a tongue twister for me. And I've only done the one in here, and I do really like the images. I really like her artwork. I was just a little bit disappointed. I didn't realise it was on Create Space paper like Amazon printed. Is Amazon printed and Create Space different? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's on the thinner paper. But it did take the paint and the pencils quite well. So it shouldn't really bother me that much. And I've based all that as well with alcohol markers. But I love the vibrant background on that one. I think it clashes with the green really well. I've just done one out of this Disney book. Now I'm not a massive, I like Disney, but I'm not a massive colouring book Disney fan. I've got this one, another one that's similar size to this, and then that huge one that I'm going to pull out next because I nearly forgot about it, so it's a good job I mentioned this one. So I've just done the one, I've done the Lion King. I did all that in pencil and some metallic watercolour, yeah. I was just checking just in case I used alcohol markers, but I didn't. So that is Art Deco. Again, this is off Amazon. Honestly, nearly all my boots are off Amazon. So this one is by Rita Berman. I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but I believe that this is a mixture of all of her books. And the boots were based on seasons. And I'm glad I just went for the one book instead of purchasing them all separately. Because there's only so many pictures I like out of this. I've got to be honest, I do like this one that I finished. It's just a nice relaxing picture, this, and I did this with the Albert Dura watercolour pencils. and that's the only one out of this one that I've done. We've got Coloriage Wild. Now let's start off with number 1. So we've got number 1 here. I'm going to have to do it like this, make it easier for myself. So I've done this one. So I will use a lot of watercolour in these books because the paper is more or less watercolour paper. But I have based that with alcohol markers as well as pencil for the hair. And then we've got this one, a lot of watercolour on this one, including the skin and the hair. And then that paste as well that I just showed you, that's what I've used there. Is there any others in this one? Nope. So we move to number 2. So you do get, how many is it? It's 28 images, but it's 2, like twice, so you get 2 of the same images, so you can do the same one again if you wanted to. I have done a few in these, I do recognise them. So that's Inktense pencils and Faber-Castell Albert Dürer watercolour pencils for the skin. We've got this one, it's mixed media, watercolour, distress ink, the glitter paste pencil, glossy accents as well. This one was based with alcohol marker and finished off with pencil and watercolour. Not the best background. Is that everything in this one? Oh no, I've done this one as well. So that is just pure pencil. I've not even gone in and done a background. There's one more. Yep, this one. This was all done with pan pastels and then a bit of Posca pen just for the dots and some stickles. Really like this one, how this one turned out with the pastel colours. I think she's really bonny. Yep, so that's that one. And then we've got number 3. So again, these were all ordered off Amazon, and then number 5 was Amazon France, I believe. And it was Kirsty that let me know about that book. She sent me the link. So is that the first one? Yep, so that's the first one out of this one, with just a stencil background that I've gone in and used a brush quite roughly and dabbed it on. This one and the next one is based with alcohol markers. I've used a bit of glossy accents as well, just to create like a water droplet effect. And then we've got this lovely lady, same thing with the glossy accents. I could have sworn I've done more in these boots, honest. Number 4. So this is still one of my all-time favourite pages that I've managed to do. Really like this one. Again, watercolour and a bit of pencil work. So I'll do the same thing. We've got the wolf. I think that was done with pan pastel, looking at that skin. I think it was, but the hair's done with pencil. We've got the lion, which she's adorable. We've got a washi tape page. Why I thought washi tape went with the crow, I don't know. And I give a purple hair. Is that everything out of this one? No, I did the horse. I'm not overly impressed with that one. And the very last one, I have got a whip in the, not a whip, a finished page, so I do need to keep it separate, is number 5. So these are all little boys. So I've finished that one in here. Now you're going to think this page is a little bit, why she done that? But I was going for, I think they call it abstract art. Oh, don't lose my tag, don't lose my tag. Put it back on there. Yeah, so this is the one that I have completed only a couple of days ago. And I did the skin with, not pencil, all watercolour paint. And I was really struggling with blending. So I thought I'm going to go the complete opposite route. And I purposely made the shading stand out. That's what I wanted it to look like. The same on the leaves. I just wanted it to stand out. I don't know if that's what you'd call it. Abstract art. I don't know. It's probably not. But the whole point was I wasn't trying to make it super duper smooth. After it didn't work the first time, I just went with it. And the background again is just watercolour, but I've put salt on to give this sort of effect. I still think it's neat how it's turned out. Right, so have I done another one in here? I have done another one. I'm skipping two. So I've done this one as well, with the little fox. And these were stamps, all these paw prints were stamps. And then this one as well, with the snake, I've done that one. So I did forget about them two, to be fair. Again, watercolour and a splatter effect. So let's put that separate. Let's move to my less organised bottom cube. So before I forget, I will just do these books. So we've got Vitralis, I think that's how you pronounce it, the Disney one. This is a huge book. If I just put my phone as reference, it's huge. So I've done a few in here. I would always suggest using watercolour in these books just because of how big and intricate the pages are. So I have done watercolour with all of this and a tiny bit of shading with pencil. So if I did all this with pencil, I'd be here until probably next year. So I did a little Dumbo. What else did we do in here? We did Bambi with his dad. Just there. I think there's one more. And I can't remember her name, but it's from Bug's Life. And it's not watercolour with this one. It's watercolour metallic for the inside and her. But that outside, I can't remember what it was. It might have been Tombow markers, possibly. I can't quite remember. And is that all I've done? Oh, that's all I've done out of that one. But this one, another big one, so I keep these under my desk. They won't fit anywhere else. We've got Serene. Start off at the back. These are huge as well. These take a long time to do. So this was, I'm just trying to see, it's not based with alcohol markers, so it was done with Prismacolor, and I've used like a stippling effect on the background. So I'd put the black acrylic down, I'd let that dry, and then use the metallic watercolour with the sponge for the background. We've done this one that I did base with alcohol markers. There's a lot of glitter that's fell off everywhere on that one. I mustn't have put enough glue down. We've got this one that I based off a character from Final Fantasy, Lightning. I think that might be all of them out of this book. And it is. Right, so what is left in the cube shelving? Some books that I kept in folders that I've took apart, or the PDFs, or the books that I have banded myself. So this is a mixture of artists, and I always struggle. Jalana. This was just a single PDF that I purchased off Etsy. I don't think I've used that. That's what I was looking if I'd used alcohol markers. I've not used alcohol markers on this. It's purely pencil and watercolour for the background. This was a Pokemon PDF that I bought again off Etsy, as well as Mystic Art Mirrors PDF book off Etsy. And most of that was watercolour and that was alcohol markers. We've got a handling page that I scanned in my printer and then I shrunk it and printed it out on toned tan paper. That was the first time using that, and she turned out really, really muddy. I do apologise for the glare, but I don't want to keep taking them in and out of here all day. So this is Colour in Chicks. That's a single PDF that I purchased again off Etsy. Really delicate colours on that one. I had fun with that one. I think this is Dawn Davidson, Dawn Davidson. Luminance pencils for the skin, Prisma pencils for the eye. See, sometimes I do write everything down and other times I don't. So that's that one. And then we've got the dinosaur that is from Adultcoloring, and I printed it out twice and you can see that it is 3D. You see the little pieces of foam behind there. And that is Bruchot. I wish I didn't do the Bruchot. I wish I didn't do that. That could have turned out a lot better. We've got a handling single page just here. I've done mostly with watercolour. seem to go through phases with watercolour, like loving it, and then I'll not use it for a month or two. So that's just alcohol marker, which I very rarely do. I probably planned on going over the top with pencil, and I just never did. I never did. And that was from the same PDF, I believe. So yeah, I'd buy singles off Etsy, and sometimes I just don't colour them, but I like the art. Does anybody else do that? I know it's terrible. But I was watching, what was that programme called? The Tiger King. Was it literally called The Tiger King? I was watching that at the time. That's why I had inspiration to do this picture. Yeah, I love her. Love her. All mixed artist. We've got When the Dog Coughing and Making Me Jump Out My Skin. Is it Tim Jeffs? I always forget. Yeah, Tim Jeffs. That was a dinosaur PDF that I downloaded, printed and coloured. There's distress ink on that, and some of the texture paste, I think it's called, that on the outside. I'm so sorry for the glare. Yeah, that's the rest of the PDFs. There's one image. There's the Stegosaurus that I did wrong. I think I've already took it out. Yeah, I've already took it out. Another one from adultcoloring, another dinosaur. I don't remember the artist on that. Might even be adultcoloring. It might be that one. Again, available on Etsy. Same artist. That one, I'll just mention, I'd used a stencil on the background, but I used pan pastel, and I think that turned out super cool. Really easy to do as well. I have got a couple of folders full of handling, but they've not been coloured, so there's no point in showing them. This is another Hannah Lynn one, but I've got other mixed pages in with this. So we've got Mystic Art Mirrors. This was from, she did a little, well, it's not a book, a 3 PDF set for over Christmas. I believe that there's a Valentine's one at the moment, but that one didn't take my fancy as much as these ones, so I think I'm going to take a pass on them ones. But I really enjoyed these Christmas pages. And then we've got Christine Karen on this side on Tantone paper. Love that. Love, 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 love. And again, I love this one. I had this one on my wall just in front of me for months, until I bought the Jasmine Beckett Griffith calendar that's replaced it. I'm really proud of this one. It's so vibrant, gorgeous. I use Holbein pencils with this. Why I don't use them pencils more often, I don't know. I think I've got it stuck in my head that they were so expensive. They were so expensive. But my luminance were just as expensive, if not more, and I use them all the time. So yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? So we've got a lot of Hannah Lynn, just the Amazon printed paper that I've took apart, and I've just put in binders. In hindsight, I wish I hadn't done that now. So that's the other PDF that I was talking about in that set, and that's the other one that I've complete. So that's white acrylic all here. I think this was done on the channel. We've got Tinkerbell. Who was that? That's Mariola Budek. Mariola Budek. I really enjoyed that one as well, with the delicate hair, and that was Tantone paper again, and a blonde hair. We've got Mystic Art Mirrors again. Now this one was done, if I lift it up like that, it might be a bit better. This one was done as part of a competition to win her book. I think she picked her favourite, and then it was 2 at random, I believe. And then we've got this one that is Mariola Budek again. It's a very, very cutesy page, not my usual sort of style, but I couldn't help myself. It was too darn cute. I couldn't not cover that one. So that's on Tantone paper again, Strathmore. We've got my T-Rex that I did for another competition on the Tim Jeffs page. I think it was something like make any of his pages into Christmassy pages. So I stuck a load of Christmas lights on the T-Rex. He probably wouldn't appreciate that in real life, but you know, it was fun to do. That's another Hannah Lynn one. I can't remember which book that was out of. Is it a newest one? I think it was a newest one. See, I bind the book, it's here at the side of me. Have I actually done anything in this one? It's this book. No, I've not even done anything in this one yet, because technically I have. They're just in here. And then I bind the book up, so I did it a bit backwards, to be honest. But hey ho. So that's the wedding page. Really love that one. Really loved that one. I didn't plan to make it night, but the background went wrong, so I was sort of forced. But in the end, I really like how it turned out. Really nice. Handling again, I think this was the princess one, but I could be wrong because I've got rid of all the front covers. I don't know which one's which. I just know that I do love handling. I do a lot of handling diamond paintings as well. So that is the one through the decade, is it? Are you going to hate me because I can't remember the name of the books? Yeah, but that was a recent one. I only did that last Christmas, just gone. And these are the spur pages. So you get a detailed version. The detailed version is what I've bound together, and then you get the simplified that I've just kept in the folder. And I think, yeah, that's everything in here. I have got a lot of handling colouring pages on my daughter's bedroom, but I won't show them in this video. There is a video literally dedicated just to that, but they are going to get took down soon for me to replace it with a huge diamond painting that I'm working on. So yeah, so all handling. So this was not last book, it was the book before. I did this one, and this is on mixed media paper, and I bound this backwards. This is when I was still learning. I did this one with the princess dress. I really like how the dress turned out on this one. I think it's really, really pretty. We did this one. I think I did this one on the channel, if I remember correctly. And I based all of this with alcohol markers. And then just a tiny bit of pencil for shading, and then the gloss medium again over the top. The only thing with that gloss medium, don't put it over gel pen because it'll make it run like crazy. We did this one. Working out. Is that 70s? Or is that 80s? I don't know. And the punk rock one, that was a really fun one. The next one was probably, this one here is my favourite out of this book. No, it didn't have this Linkin Park sign on, it just had, I can't remember what sign it was, but it wasn't that one. So I blanked it all out with the black acrylic, and then made my own little sign and coloured the CDs. I love this one, still now, love it. We did the cosy scene, another one that I really, really enjoyed doing. I just put stickers on this, there's stickers, there's gel pen, there's all sorts on this, but the grey and the pink, oh, I love it, love it. I think that's everything. So that's everything that I keep in the bookshelf. It's not actually a bookshelf, it's just like a cubed shelf at the side of me that I treat as like a little cabinet as well for hold on minute knacks. So now we're going to move to the bookshelf, which I've got 2 full shelves full of books. So congratulations if you've I wait about an hour in, an hour and a half in it. I'm not sure, I'm really not sure. So this is the Hannah Calzone one that I was telling you about that I missed out. The reason that I don't keep it in with my other Hannah Calzone, it's just too big. It's too big for this little cube. So this first one was a very early one. I can't remember what I did for the skin. You can see there's a lot of stickles on this. Watercolour, metallic watercolour in the background. I think there might be a whoopsie in this one, I'm not sure. I was going for autumn tones with this one. I still like this one now. Yeah, so I've got one whip going on at the minute. Just base that so far with alcohol markers. I don't like how that dress is turning out. I'd have to go over the top with that, I think. We've done that page. That's probably been my favourite one out of the whole book. Is it the front cover? It is the front cover. And I've used the Jane Davenport mermaid markers, and they behave very similar to the Distress ink, but just not as much. You see this sort of effect here. Really enjoyed doing that page. We've got this one as well, again with the Jane Davenport. It is thicker paper this, it's more like a thin cardstock. And then the, what's it called? The Sakura Jelly Roll glaze, and the one in black. The one that I'm nearly running out of. But this one does with a pencil, can't remember what pencil. That's that one. We've got my one and only, I'm pretty sure it's my one and only Joanna Basford book. I'll give the other ones away. I do like this one, the Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I do like this one. I am interested to see what a new one's like when it comes out. So I will quickly just scan through this because I've done quite a few. There's a little bit of block colouring in this as well. Some tester pages, that's with salt and watercolour. Ink tents with that one. 2 finished pages. Very, very early work these. That's block colouring again. Where is it just gone? I think I was testing out the super tips on that one. More mandala page. This one I did on the channel a couple of months ago. From start to finish, I believe. I did get interrupted there with a phone call. Anyway, so what was we up to? Abby in the Inky Butterfly. I think I just said that I'll go through this quickly because there is a couple of pages. Nothing spectacular in this one. And I forgot my light. That one. This one was done with Distress ink in the background. And the Colero paint. I think this is up on the channel actually. Pretty sure it is. There's the butterfly. That's just testing out watercolour. The very early stages of testing out watercolour and the nameplate. And I was trying to get Isabel to do it as well. So we've got 1 or 2 out of intricate ink. This is number 5. I think there's just 1. Yeah, there is the Charmeleon. Now there is a couple of colouring pages that I've not got. I was thinking about it that I've given to family and friends and whatnot, so I'm not going to be able to show them. But I believe this was all done with Tombow markers. I haven't done any pencil shading on that. And then we move over to Grazia Salvo. I'm probably butchering that name, I do apologise. So I've done the very first page and I did this with Polychromos pencils and the stickles on the little gem. I'm not sure if I've done. And again, the intricate ink was off Amazon. This was off Amazon as well, but it was there was actually a shipping charge on this one because I think it came from Amazon US, I believe. Misfits books. We've got these ones, and I don't think I've coloured in every single one, but I did grab them all. So we'll start off with number 9, so they're definitely not in order. The Gothic Fantasy one. And maybe this is one of the ones that I've not done. No, there is. There's a page there, quite simple page. And that was all done with Prismacolor. Any more? No. We've got just number 3. It's just called number 3. We've got this one. I think that was Castle Arts or Black Widow. You know, just testing out the pencils. This was a test that I did with gesso and alcohol marker, and it doesn't work very well on this paper. There's a couple of testing that I did in these books. I just wish the paper was a little bit thicker. I'd colour in these a little bit more. So we've got the zombie one. I know I've done 1 or 2 in here. Where is it? There it is. I did the seaside one. Black acrylic in the background. Pentel gel pen. Is it just the one that I've done in here? It most certainly is. The nautical one. Where are we up to? I know that I've definitely done one in here and it's got a turtle in it. And she's a mermaid. There it is. See, I do remember. Neo Colour 2 for the background on that, and ink tents for everything else. Them ink tents definitely do pack a punch. Lovely pencils. The Winter Fantasy. Have I done any in this one? Yeah, so that's the other testing I did as well. And I've wrote down clear gesso, no. And the alcohol marker, because apparently if you put the gesso down it stops the alcohol marker from bleeding through. And it does stop that, but there's no way of blending the alcohol markers and they bleed and they just don't look very good. So I'm glad I tested it. Another one that I did, and I really like how this one turned out. I added gel pen to add a bit of snow to it. Oh, and the dragon, I forgot about this one. I really enjoyed doing this. and this was with Inktense pencils again and stickers. Isn't it cute? We've got the Alien one, which there's a couple of disasters in this one. I don't think I've actually finished a page in this one. Yeah, I started colouring that and the marker just went funny on me, and then the marker went streaky on me here, so I didn't carry on and finish it. I think that's all I've done in that one. The Fairy Colouring Book number 4. Is there any in this one? No. Oh yes, there is. That page that I've based and not finished. Another Fairy Colouring Book. I definitely seem to go through phases in my colouring books of what I want to colour. That was based with alcohol markers. I don't think there's anything else in here. And then we move on to the Astro Inklings and then Inklings 2. Now there's one of these that I know I've not coloured in. Which one is it? No, I did that one and she turned out looking like Shrek in my opinion. Yeah, it was fun to do that one. It might be this one that I've not actually coloured anything in. I do like her work, I just find it a little bit sketchy. Yeah, there is none that are done in that one. Storybooks Darlings by Kelly Halton. I've done the one in here. That's the one I did. I really enjoyed doing this one. Even though it's not the greatest paper, I still really enjoyed doing this one. I added little details into the hair. I enjoyed doing the brig, believe it or not, to try and make it look realistic. It reminds me very much of Hannah Lynn, this style, by Kelly Horton. The adorable Circle of Life colouring book. I've done a few in here. So I did that one. The seagull catching the turtle. If you hear banging, Isabel's up watching a bit of TV in her room and she's literally right above me, so she might be banging on the bed. And I think I've just done the one. I thought I'd done another one in there. That's just a really funny book, that. Funny book. Christine Karen one. Definitely done one in here. I remember doing it. It's a little dragon one, isn't it? Pretty sure it is. Yes, it's this one. Isn't she adorable? Another one that I really enjoyed doing. I need to pull this book out a little bit more. So I've scanned one of the images in to my printer as well and it didn't print out very well. So I just kept that in there. We move on to Mystic Art Mirrors. And I thought I had a finished one and I've not. Yes, I have. So I'll show you my finished one for this month so that I can put it back in the pile. I've done a few out of this actually. So you can see a lot of distress ink in this one. And I've used Prismacolor for that. I have binded this book myself as well. I printed it off, bought it off Etsy, the PDF, printed it off myself and binded it myself as well. And this one was a buddy colour with Kirsty from Kirsty Colouring Sketch. She turned out beautiful. Kirsty is beautiful as well. It's really nice. She used a lot of white gel pen in hers. But I think the background again is distress ink, but I used a watercolour first, completely let that dry, and then I went in with the distress ink, and then I've used a lot of the Sakura jelly roll glaze for all the little details. I really love that one, really fun to do as well. Distress ink again, yet again, that glitter paste that I showed you earlier on, some Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen in the hair. And the pencil was probably Prisma again. Right, this is the one that I've finished for this month, and this was another body colour again with Kirsty, and I based this off a koi carp fish, so I just googled a koi carp and I tried to imitate the pattern that was on it. I don't know if I pulled it off, but it was really fun to attempt and try and copy the colours. There's a little bit of glossy accents as well, not much at all. I didn't do like the full eyeball, just popped a little bit on. This is probably my most favourite out of this book that I've done. I really love how the skin turned out on this one. And the colour choices as well. Really, really love that one. So I didn't actually use Distress ink in the background with that one. You can tell I've been talking for ages, my voice is going now. I used watercolour as the background for that one. But it's a very similar effect. So I can put that on my finished pages cube. We've got Fairytopia, again by Mystic Art Mirrors. I have got a PDF of hers as well. It's in a different folder that we'll come up to. So I think this one was a buddy colour with Kate from Kate's Colouring Haven. I'm pretty sure it was. I've used pre-show powder in the background, lots and lots of stickles, polychromos pencils for the hair, and I based the skin with alcohol markers in the blue. It's like an avatar in the film Avatar. Another one, I have used Distress ink in the background, but I've not used water. I've just used it on a stamping tool to create the circle effect. And then some Posca pen detail on the wings. I love her hair. Her hair is really nice. This one, I've tried to imitate as best as I can the front cover. And reference all the colours. I mean, all this up here, I had to sort of make up my own mind what I wanted to do there. I just used a stencil and used pan pastel for that. But it took me just as long going all the way around with a white gel pen than it did to actually colour the image. And there's a bit of a sparkly pen as well on the wing. I love that one too. We've got this one. She's beautiful. That's Prismacolor in the hair, I can see with the wax. And then a watercolour background as well. We've got stickles. Really beautiful. And this one I'm still on the fence about. Every now and again I do look through my books to pick a page, and I still don't know whether I like that skin or not. I wanted to make it purple to go with the hair, but I don't know if I made it too purple. I didn't blend it out enough. I think I used polychromos for that. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But I have done a lot in these books. So we've got Mermaids and Friends. Again, Mystic Art Mirrors. That was a very early one. So these ones are double-sided in this book. A lot of Spectrum Noir sparkle pen on that one. You can just see at the bottom there. Not my favourite. There is not even a background on that. I don't know why I didn't do a background, but that is watercolour, all of that one. There's no pencil on that. It's just watercolour. This one was done majority with pan pastels and a teeny tiny bit of pencil just for a little bit of shading, and then these shiny bits of metallic watercolour. Oh, and there's some Mod Podge Extreme Glitter just on a tail. And we've got this one. Mod Podge Extreme Glitter all over the hair. Apparently I was loving that stuff. With stickles, glossy accents, Prismacolor, and again metallic watercolour paints. And this one, I turned her into an alien. All that background is like a shimmery pan pastel. And I can't remember whether it was classed as a pearl. It might have been. It might have been. I think whatever I set it with as well at the time, it might have been hairspray. I didn't have a proper setting spray, and it has rubbed off onto the other side, unfortunately. But there's stickles as well on her face. Very bumpy. So that's that one. We've got two more by Mystic Art Mirrors, and then the PDF in the folder, which will come up, like I said, a little bit later. Fairy Tale Princesses. I've not done a whole lot in this one. I've done the Tinkerbell now. This was definitely a buddy colour with Kate from Kate's Colouring Haven. And I thought my light was going again. And it is. Nothing, the past hour or so, nothing's going right. Do you ever have that? Do you ever have that? Yeah, so that was mostly pan pastel, that one. And some stickles on the wings. See? She's really cute. And then we've got the traditional Ariel. I had to do it in the traditional colours. I think he's called Flounder. It's been years and years and years since I watched My Little Mermaid, so I'll be impressed if I remember that's what his name was. And the very last Mystic Art mirrors is Galaxy Girls and Zodiac Signs. Now I don't believe I've done a whole lot in this one. This isn't one of my favourites of hers. There's a few nice ones, but it's not my favourite. I've just done this very front cover, I believe. Yeah, I've just done this very front cover. A lot of distress ink on this one. Spectrum Noir Sparkle pens and Prismacolor. So we're moving on to Anastasia Calderava Night. Now I'll show the finished page first, so I don't forget. It's just the one, isn't it? Yeah. There is quite a few in here. I do love her books. So we've got this one, beautiful lady. A lot of distress ink used on this one, and Prismacolor. And then the dots that you can see is the gel pen, the glazed one again. This is the Arteza acrylic paint, and you see what I mean. And this took layer and layer and layer to get it to look like this, you know, to look opaque. It was very, very translucent. But I've used Prismacolor again and just a touch of gel pen. I love how she turned out. Really, really happy with her. I use Holbeins with this one and just a watercolour background. Quite soft. Quite soft, that one. Neocolour 2s for the background, I believe. And Tombows for everywhere. I basted Tombows everywhere apart from the skin. I can't remember what I used for the skin on this one. I might have even tried to use watercolour. I honestly don't remember with that one. Did I do one of these pages? Right, so that's my recent one. I did that right at the start of January. I am so proud with how that hair came out. That's why I've done that other tutorial, my very recent video, in the, I think it's a Marioli page anyway. I'll either link it below or I'll list it somewhere around here if you are interested in watching it. It's not the Adapt colour combo, but it's a very, very similar one. I love how she turned out, and her eyes as well. You see the makeup, I give her really spiky lashes. Love that one. I think that's everything in this one. So I'll put that in that separate cube. And then we've got Nocturnes. Oh, I didn't say, was that Serenity? It was Serenity, wasn't it? Yes, it was. So how many have I done out of this one? I've done this one because she reminded me, she looked like Daenerys from Game of Thrones, even though she's got snakes in her hair and she has it in that series. That's what it reminded me of. There's a lot of watercolour on this one. You know what, it is all watercolour apart from the hair. I've even done the skin in watercolour, I think. And some glossy accents on her eyes. And some stickles. This one, I believe this is based off Alice in Wonderland. And I used Prisma again. As you can tell, Prisma is my go-to favourite. And Neocolour 2, I think, for the clock. My daughter is having a field day in her bedroom. There, we've got this one, which I love everything about it apart from the background. I think I spoilt it with the background. There was already too much going on with the colours and the jewellery, etc. And then I went ahead and put like a bokeh background, and I really wish that I didn't. I wish I'd either left it or just did it one solid colour. Yeah, disappointed in myself that I did that. I wrecked that one. Again, we've got either watercolour or Neocolour 2. I can't quite remember with the background on this one. And then I think I used Luminance with this one for a change. Just for a change. And then the KJ Designs by Karen, the watercolour paint. So we've got Mysteria. I believe she's coming out with a new boot at either the end of this month or next month. It might be next month. We've got this one. I was so proud of this hair as well. And just the Americana black acrylic for the background. Really simple. I like how the jewels turned out though. I made them amber actually. I made them amber, not jewels. Yeah, super cool. A lot of watercolour on this one again. This page I did with coal pit markers. So all that skin was coal pit markers, no pencil, no nothing. I don't know why I didn't finish the background on that one, I'm not sure. And this one, I ended up smudging a bit of pink, so I went with it and just added more to make it look like it was meant to be there, so I probably shouldn't have told you. Very pastel page. A lot of watercolour on this one, and Prismacolor skin. I can tell again by the wax, and some glitter. Really pretty page, that one. Is there any more? There was a whoopsie in here that I really hate. Yep, this one. Ugh, I wish I didn't do the blue hair. I'm really disappointed in myself. I have coloured them, they are meant to look grey, but I was really disappointed that I did blue hair. Why didn't I do like the gingery blonde, like a strawberry blonde would have looked nice with that. But it's done, it's down on the page. We've got Mermaid Legends. I've done a few in here. I think this one was done with Holbein's. I think it was by the Pastel Colours. I'm pretty sure it was Holbein pencils and watercolour. KJ Designs watercolour on the... Or it might have been Paul Rubens, actually. It might have been Paul Rubens. Prismacolor for all of this, I believe. Really nice one. That was a fail. I tried using Pan Pastel and the paper wasn't very good for it, so I tried my best to rub it out just to save the page. Got one coming up here. Oh, my jellyfish girl, I love this one. I love how it turned out. I tried to make it so you still see her skin, but so the dress was really see-through. A lot of splatter techniques on this. I had fun on this one, I did. Oh, and another one that's translucent. And I used the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter again on this one. I always come back to this page. I never had to pluck up the courage to do it because of all the crystals. They make me really nervous. And then we've got When Dragons Dream. I've only done one or two out of here. I really haven't done many. It might just be the one. Yeah, I really have to be in the mood for this one because it is a little bit more detailed. But I've used the Jane Davenport on the outside. I might have used the Karen markers as well, like the watercolour. Well, not watercolour, water-based markers. And then a little bit of pencil over the top. As you can see, it bleeds through terribly. And then we move on to Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Again, another finish, so I'll show you this first. I've done a few in this one. I followed Sammy's tutorial from Colouring Chat with Sammy on the eyes. I love how this turned out. All of this is watercolour with a bit of acrylic mixed in. I love how this turned out. Really proud of myself with this one. So this is the one that I've recently done a video about, and I showed you the technique of using any alcohol marker, any marker that you've got, any alcohol marker, and hand sanitizer, and you get this really cool effect. And it is really cool and so easy to accomplish. So I've done a more in-depth tutorial and it is already up on the channel. I'll link it down below, or it'll be, where are your camera? It'll be somewhere up here or down there, popping up, if you are interested. Another one. You can see I love my metallic paints. This one was a buddy colour, another one with Kirsty. Hers turned out just as beautiful as well. I'm worried that this video is going to be over like 2 hours long, so I'm trying to be slightly quicker. Again with the Americana black acrylic paint. You can see how much I've used it, and I've used so little of that bottle up. I remember doing this one when I went into hospital for surgery. Obviously not the paint, just the pencil work. Funny, isn't it? The things that you remember and the things that you forget. So I tried to challenge myself with this one, with just one colour, but just in different tones. And I really did not like the result. I finished the hair, started the skin, and I thought, no, I'm not carrying on. I'm not sure whether this one was featured on the channel, like I've actually coloured it on the channel, can't remember. But I tried to make it look like she's got beams coming out of her. And this one I do love. I'll look to the reference picture of this. Had it at the side of me, and I did most of this with watercolour, especially all the water effect. I thought I'd basted it, then I didn't. I used the Karen markers, definitely the Karen markers on her skin. I don't think there's any shading or anything on there. It was more so about the background with this one. Me just trying to recreate that water effect, like Jasmine's. I really like that one. One that I've based the background and missed a bit and never come back to. Another recent-ish one. A lot of glossy accents on that one. She's really pretty. And this one I did probably when I first got the book, which was over a year ago now. I didn't even do any shading on these areas. So I can put that. I think that's... I've got one more in the pile that I've finished. So the Alice book, this isn't my favourite of Jasmine's, this isn't my favourite, but I did this one. I did a bit of collaging with this one and some washi tape. Acrylic paint on that too. What else? Oh, I did that one, and that deal was a big fat fail. I love the little girl, but I tried to do fur with paint and I don't think I pulled it off. It looks like he's really messy and he needs grooming. Any else? Oh, that one. Yeah, I did like this one. I followed a couple of different tutorials for the donuts and the cupcakes. And I do think they look quite realistic. Especially that one in the middle. It's really yummy. We've got the Halloween one next. So there's this one that I used marker to base it. I've used washi tape. And then there's that glaze gel pen again, just on these areas. The next one, I did base it with markers, as you can see, and then I was trying to go for a messy look and I ended up going over the top. I could probably save it. It does look a bit of a mess though. I'm sure I've got a couple more in here, have I not? I've not. I could have sworn that I did. And then we've got the original, very first book that she came out with. These are all testers with Copic markers. Oh yes, I remember doing this one. I have one of her art books and I had that open at the side of me with this image and I was trying to copy it. The only thing that I really love about this, I love the wings. I think I did a really good job at the wings. I used acrylic paint to white them out almost, just so I could just barely see the ink on the paper, and then added my own to make them look fluffy. Really enjoyed doing that one. Well, this was a really early one. I did this as a speed colouring, and the music choices that I had were terrible. I think it's because I was using my phone and the software that I was using didn't have a very wide selection of song choices. So yeah, and that was Neocolour 2, that one. And again, this one's Neocolour 2s as well. It does look like that shining though. Not too bad. The little cat again, failed with the fur. I tried with the acrylic paint. Not my best work. And same with this one. I remember the month that I showed this, people said, oh, they liked it. I really don't like it. Really don't like it. I've used a lot of glossy accents on this and it looks like it's made a bit of a mess on the page. Can you see? It looks a little bit like plastic. Again, that's one that I basted ages ago with alcohol marker and I just never came back to it. I thought it was quite fitting for the time. Another one I finished. I did the little dragons. I wish this one was a full size. No, not just a small one. So if I'm ever in the mood for a jasmine book, I'll always go for the first one first because it's got a good variety. Dream of Dragons and Dragonkin, and I must have started one. Yep, I've started one here with the watercolour. There's still tape around it. So I did have an idea in my head what I wanted to do with that, and I've not carried on. And the only other one that I've done in here is that one. And I've used washi tape on the outside, Neo Colour too, and I think, yep, I've based that with alcohol marker. Nothing else in there. So on that shelf as well is last year's calendar. I can show you a couple that I've done without showing appointments and telephone numbers and stuff, because I did use this as a calendar. So I did this one by Kelly O'Gorman, and that's how you pronounce the name. All watercolour and just a little bit of stickles. What else did we do? Oh, we did this one by Micah. I'm better off just showing you the name. That's the name at the top there. Terrible at pronouncing names. But I think I featured this on the channel. I can't quite remember, but this was the first time that I did skin with polychromos, and I was really proud of myself with this. And these little bits here you can see are soft pastels. I started that one, never got round to finishing it. We did this one by Zan von Zied. I think that's how you pronounce it. Not my best work. Ooh.
No.
Oh.
Who's there?
And Alexa's talking to me. Alexa.
Yeah, who?
Alexa.
I'm coming.
Stop. I'm sure I didn't say her name then. This was by White Stag. So it's the same person that does the Misfits books. It was really fun to do this one. I attempted a fog effect, you see. That's just really watered down acrylic paint. And I think, oh no, I've got this one, the November one. We've got a Hanelin. This was the first one that I did out of this calendar actually. I couldn't not do it. I love Hanelin. Really fun. I'm just checking the last page. I'm pretty sure I didn't do it now because I didn't like it. So that's that one. So we've got, oh, I have got to show you as well, while I've got it at the side of my Mariola Budek little boot that I made. So we've done that one. That one was done with pan pastels. I'm better off going from the back. That I started on the channel, never got round to finishing it. I should really reprint that out. The Princess Lady, I love the hair on that one, and the skin as well actually. The skin turned out quite nice. Just carefully do this so I'm not skipping pages. Some wolf. I know I finished that wolf, I don't know whether it's in this one or in one of the folders. So that's the one that I did this month. I tried to give a black hair with a tone of blue, but it ended up just being blue, so I went with it. So I tried to go with a contrasting colour of red. We did the furry, nice and simple. I think this one was from last month, the elves, with polychromos pencils, I believe. Got this one, this is on the mixed media paper, and it didn't take the Prismacolors well at all. She looks very sick. We've got this one that I think I based this with Copics, I believe, or it might have been pan pastels. I can't quite remember. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's my mission to finish this set of art boot though. I think it's doable. All this was done with pan pastel. This, oh, it's another one, I forgot about that. This is the other one that I did this month. And this is, I think it's polychromos for the hair, and then Prismacolor for everywhere else, and then just a little bit of watercolour for the background. This was last month as well. Prismacolor, watercolour. It's becoming a reoccurring thing, this, isn't it? Distress ink for this one in the background, and polychromos for the hair. I can't remember with this skin, it might possibly be Prisma. This is the one that I based with alcohol markers. It was Copics. And there's the wolf one. I knew I'd finished it. We've got Neocolor 2s in the background, Polychromos for the hair and the wolf, and then possibly Prisma for the skin. And then that's the one that we're halfway through. I'm going to do the skin next as a tutorial. My Dragon Girl, I used the Jane Davenport Mermaid markers in the background. I'm surprised it didn't bleed through more than it did, but this cardstock is quite good. Polish for the hair, and probably polish for the skin. I think that's everything out of this one. There might be one or two at the front I've already shown you. Yeah. So we're on to the very... No, we're not on to the very last shelf because we've got half of the second shelf to go through. So let's me put all these away and get to that one. We're getting there slowly but surely. So I've got Imaginary Friends again. These are not in any order. I think the way that I ordered them for myself is with how big they are. The bigger they are, the further back they went on the bookshelf sort of thing. Anyway, you didn't need to know that. So what have I done in here? I know there's a collage page that I've done in here. There's a dolphin page. I was mostly testing out a new watercolour in that one. And this one is more Halloween page. Put some Bruchot powder on there. If you feel like I'm rushing, I am a little bit. I don't want the video to be a whole lot longer. And I didn't want to split it up into two parts. Oh, there's the collage page that I was talking about. It's really fun to do that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I need to start doing that. Just have a little book that I can collage in and just doodle and that sort of thing. So this next one is a bit of a fail in my opinion. If you've been watching my channel for any time, I did get this colouring book from Etsy and it weren't cheap. It was over £30. And the actual book itself, there was no flip throughs out. There was barely any. It was like a picture of the front cover and that was it. There was nothing about the inside, so I didn't realise how mandala. I mean, for instance, I've tried to colour a page with watercolour. That's not it. There you go. And I wasn't feeling it, so I've not touched this book since. But it did come with separate prints, and I had a problem with these prints as well because one of the prints I used a little bit of watercolour, and the ink actually bled. And I contacted Mariola herself and she apologised because she didn't say in the description you can't use water on this paper. So these are sort of, you've seen how much I love using watercolour and distressing, so they were sort of, I can only use pencil and I've used distressing but I can't use water because the ink will run. So I have done these pages and that's it. The actual prints off, the single ones, are nice. They are really, really nice. But for me, the colouring book was not worth it at all, purely because I don't colour mandalas. So that is that. On the opposite end, this Game of Thrones book I think cost me £3 off Amazon. It was classed as being second hand and it was brand spanking new in my opinion. I did this Drogon page which took me about 3 nights and a lot of patience. A lot of watercolour on him and just a bit of pencil work. Every single picture that I was using as a reference for him, some pictures it looked burgundy, like more burgundy, other pictures it looked quite red, and then other pictures it was black. So I just sort of had to mix all that in my head and create him as I saw fit. And then the only other one, because it really does intimidate me, this book, is I've done the map of Westeros. I was trying to say Westeros and map at the same time, so it came out as WAP. And this is just watercolour. Just plain watercolour, nothing. No pencil or nothing. Really fun to do that. I've got the Colour Mandalas book. Now the reason that I've got this, as I just said, I don't really colour in mandalas. They did send it to me for a review and I can't stress enough how nice the paper in this is. And I did try and put my own little spin on it, adding distress ink and stamps and stuff. As you see there, I did enjoy colouring it, but mandalas are just, they're just not my thing, unfortunately. I get quite bored very quickly as well. The Disney portraits, this boot fell apart on me, so I have to be careful. I've only done the one. I was on a bit of a Disney kick, and then when I got the boots I haven't really touched them. So I did this one from, is it Lino Stitch? You're going to shout at me, but I don't really watch Disney films. My daughter's not really into them and neither is my son. So that's that. Nino and Stitch. There's something in Stitch anyway. Dragons Assorted, a hand-drawn colouring book. This was off Etsy. And again, I've only done a handful of these. That's one I finished. That's the one that I basted with Neocolor 2s. It was too long ago. Over a year ago, and I've not come back to it. And that's all I've done in that one. We've got the Ink House. Now, I believe this wasn't actually a colouring book. It wasn't marketed as a colouring book anyway, but I've done Little Louie. And the glossy accent just didn't work out at all on this one. There's a little bit of distress ink here and there, just testing things out. I've done that one with the cup of tea and a brew and a biscuit. I did that one. That was with Inktense pencils, I believe. I've seen some absolutely stunning pieces in this book. Really nice ones. And again, that was off Amazon. This one was off Amazon as well. Dinosaurs, a colouring book by William Stout. Now, I did one of these colouring pages. I did that on a live stream with all watercolour. I did one of these pages and I remember seeing it in Florida. There's a picture that I shared on my community tag. That was a test page with gesso. And I remember seeing it and I was so happy to see it. But I got the colours wrong. I did that one on watercolour. I'm not going to be able to find that picture now, am I? I'm going to have to show you because you won't know what I'm talking about. But if you want to see, there it is. If you want to see the side by side, just click on my community tab. The pictures there, me with my Mickey ears and being like pointing. All the different say, oh look, I did that one. Completely different colours though. We've got Ticket to Dreams. This one was a very old one. I did this as my very first buddy colour with Kate from Kate's Colouring Haven. And I was really proud of that at the time. Really proud of that. I haven't done many in this. I've done the Wolf. Again, watercolour. To me, now, definitely now, it's all about just having fun. At one time I was really worried, thinking, oh, I have to do this for the channel, I have to do that, and I'm worried. Well, I did the front cover as well, the title page. But now I'm like, you know what, it's my hobby, and I'm going to do what I want. So that's what I do. So there is a dinosaur in here, but I've been saving that until I get inspiration to do it. I'm not just doing it willy-nilly. That's a special one. That I might even scan that in just to keep it just in case. That's another one that I've used the gel medium, and you can see how terrible the brush marks are on that. I think it's because of the black acrylic, it's showing it up more. But if I'd used the roller, it would have been fine. The octopus, Jane Davenport in the background. This lady with a massive, gigantic plait. I wish I had her like that. And I think that's everything. That's Fantasia. Again, that was off Amazon, but I paid a fee for it to come from America. We've got Wild Soul. Oh gosh, my back. Ugh. There's a couple of whips in here. I think there's at least one. Is it a cat? So we've got this one with the lamb. We've got this one. I did that whole lion with pan pastel. Pleased how that one turned out. I know I've got a whip in here. Where is it? There it is. So it's the cat. So I coloured the cat and nothing else. And then the last one on that shelf, we've got Queens of Poland. Again, lovely book. Fantastic quality. I did that grayscale one. There's another lady there with the red hair that I did in here. There she is. Look how vibrant her hair is. Gorgeous. I did another one and she looks like a princess. That's the one. With the bricks all the way around. I think that's everything from that one. We're coming up to the last little stretch now. I've got all my Colouring Heaven, but I think I'm going to have to do them in a separate video. I haven't done a whole lot. There's only a small handful in the Colouring Heaven that I've done. I definitely just collect that magazine more than colouring it by the looks of it. So we've got this one that I did mostly with the Karen markers. Really good for skin, them Karen markers. I need to use them more on the channel, a bit more. We've got this moon, that it was basically a tester. I was trying to do a galaxy background with watercolour. That one, I know that there's one more at least, and this one as well, and this one is with the Karen markers as well. But the only problem is with this, I coloured all of her, and then I went in with Distress ink and the Bruchot powder, and as soon as I went in with the water, it sort of paled down. You can see the difference in the hair, it paled it down, so I tried to go over with a bit of pencil to darken it up. But that's the only thing with the Karen markers, I'd just be careful if you're using water. And the very last things that I'm going to share today are in my folder that I've not got a home anywhere else. I just need to organise it a bit better. I've just got some single PDFs that I need to organise. I have got some finished pages in here actually. So I've got all PDFs that I've purchased and printed off. This one by Mystic Art Mirrors, that's all done with watercolour, on watercolour paper. I can't print off on this watercolour paper anymore because I've got a different printer, but this, I'm going to keep this one out because I didn't realise that was on watercolour paper as well. So that's getting kept out so I can work on that. And that is Hannah Carlson along with these. I don't know why I've printed them off twice. It's on different paper by the looks of it. Hannah Carlson again. I did this on a live stream and I was really disappointed in myself how it turned out. Another Hannah Carlson. So she does sell some pictures on her Etsy store. I don't know why I print them out twice. I don't know. I've even got a third one. So this one's on watercolour paper. This is Mystic Art Mirrors, and that's just watercolour. We've got a Hannah Lynn, and that's mostly alcohol markers and watercolour. This was free, these two were free with the Momo Love Letter. I'd already purchased this and coloured it in, and they sent it me for free. So that's them, I need to organise them. Like I said, that's Momo Girls, I think. I'm pretty sure it is. We've got a Hannah Lynn one, Halloweeny one. A Laura Rafferty there, that came free with the boot. I'm just checking that I'm not just using the rest of this for storage. So this is the Mystic Art Mirrors PDF that I told you about. Just double check. I see I missed one then. Right, so there's two PDFs in here. There's this one, and the background is done with all pan pastels. Pan pastels with that one. Really nice green colour. We've got this one. Black acrylic background, and I give her really dark eyes, and I did a funky pattern, and that's not meant to be her, is it? Is it meant to be her ears? I don't know. I did this pink lady, unicorn / elf. I think I might have done that on the channel, I'm not sure. Right, any more? There's a whip in there that I've not finished, and that's with watercolour. Let me quickly scan through, there's none in there. There's one there that I just saw, another one there. That's another Mystic Art Mirrors piece, all watercolour. And then this one was a Pokemon PDF that I got from Etsy, really super cute. I just typed in Pokemon colouring pages or Pokemon PDF pages, and this book popped up. But, oh, but there's Misty with Psyduck Corset and Togepi and Staryu. Yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, this is a very long video, thank you very much for staying to the end, or even if you skip through bits. I know that this was a really long one. It's been a back killer for me to film, to sit here for this amount of time. Please subscribe if you're new, and like I said, if you did enjoy the video, please do like it. It does help me out humongously. So I need to remind myself as well that I need to sort out these. I don't like having loose PDFs everywhere. But I think that's everything, apart from pages that I've gifted to people, or I've got hung up in my daughter's room. I think that's probably everything. In the colouring heaven, there isn't a whole lot that I need to share in the colouring heaven. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a nice day, or enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!